Hi, everybody. Once again, we're back at your Entrepreneur Talks. Woo! Talking about building your community. So while building your entrepreneurship and going into it and making sure that you are financial wealthy and building generational wealth, it is also important to build up your community, bring others around you up and lifting and giving back. So have here today, who wants to start?
Ladies first.
I'll start first. So my name is Lisa Thyhason. I'm here from the Bridgeport, Connecticut area. A lot of people, they know of me or have known of me or are going to get to know about me. I'm a small business owner who just decided to step out and take some faith into her business and push herself. Along this journey, it has encouraged me to jump into many things within my community, from providing dance classes for our children to getting involved with a basketball organization, which now I am the director of the Family Affairs Department here in the Bridgeport, Connecticut location. I'm going to be starting up a double Dutch group. Training and conditioning is going to come for that soon. We'll get some workshops going, and thank you for having me and allowing me to be a part of your platform. I don't know who wants to go next.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Thyhason Adams, born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. CEO and founder of the North End Tennis Association. So the premise behind what I do is basically to further expose and reintroduce the game of tennis to our community and those abroad. So, you know, glad to be here and expose myself in the capacity of what I do. Also offer an element of, mental health awareness, autism, domestic violence, breast cancer, and literacy, along with some tutoring. So counseling, mentorship, things of that sort.
All right, my turn. Nice to meet everybody here on the panel and everybody out there in the Facebook world. If you don't know me, I'm Wes, last name Payne. I'm a naval veteran, as it says. So I did my time out there in the world. I did 13 years on active duty, and I came back here to my home of Bridgeport. I started a technology business called Metro Tech Solutions. That did well, still doing well. I'm an IT technician by trade. And I started up another business with my brother called Resume Brothers, and that did well. And now I think we're both at another junction in our life where I'm branching off into the nonprofit world, and I'm starting Newfield Park Youth Baseball. So if you haven't seen it on your timeline yet, it's going around. Registrations are going down now. I'll put the website out, so anybody wants to sign up their children. The ages are from 3 to 12. Price breakdowns are within round. We have pricing plans. We have the whole 9 yards. Uniforms included as well. So that's a big part of my selling point there. So we'll get more into that later on. But it's a pleasure to meet everybody here.
All right, so those of you who don't know me, I'm Evie. I have a hair store and a styling salon. I am a natural hair consultant. I've been doing this forever. That's as long as I've been doing it. As far as giving back to the community, I also am a teacher, and I had a nonprofit for years until I moved on to other things. And I love giving back to the teens, especially the teens that are troubled, because I was very troubled. And, so I'm here for bringing up our community. I actually was a part of Thyson's organization as a child. He was a teen then, and then he branched off to start his own, but, he definitely helped to raise me up in the community and to give back. So I am glad to have you guys here. We can start off the conversation with why we think that our businesses are better, making the community around us better.
Okay, so I actually took some notes down too, so excuse me if you see me looking down, but I feel that with my business, it helps make the community better because with the small businesses, it opens up a scale for people who can't get a job in the corporate world. So if you have like something hindering you from getting a good job, small businesses like mine open up opportunities like that. So with me opening up this new business this coming May, I'm opening up opportunities for our youth to get out there and earn an honest living. Most of our youth, if you incorporate them between the ages of 17 to let's say 24, 25, they incorporate or contribute to the household income. So I'm providing that opportunity. And I feel that with all the other programs tied to it, it provides more opportunity because more things can come about.
I thought that was very important. You said to age 24. I think we missed that, the whole 18 years old, then you're an adult. But I think it's really important for those job skills to expand, to get some training, because our young adults go out to this world and high school only prepares you for so much and then you're lost. So I think that's awesome.
Yes, the reason why I say 24 is because now a lot of our kids are staying home a lot longer. So you have to contribute that to the household income. You can't live anywhere for free. So at this point, you're teaching your children responsibility. You have to contribute to where you stay. So like I said, more small businesses should take heed and start incorporating the youth and people who are having these hard times and financial struggles by seeing what these households need, how can we accommodate them, and how we can provide opportunity to not only expand our businesses, but to help these households. I think I'm done. It was short.
I think Thyhason is trying to talk, but he's muted.
Yes, his mic is muted.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. I didn't touch it. I don't know what happened. But just to piggyback on, I think that's huge what you said about the household. That platform inside those four walls are huge in what happens with their children, how they see themselves, how they identify with their family, and how they see themselves going forward in life, dealing with all aspects of being an adult. What are my dreams? What are my aspirations? What is my skill set? What am I great at? How do I tie that into where I want to go and what I want to do? And consequently, how do I, do all that, bringing it in to support myself and my family, going forward. So, I love that point you made.
Sorry. Yeah, it's very important, and we often forget that. So it helps relieve stress from a lot of people knowing that they have that extra income coming in. That's why I've encouraged people to incorporate the youth. I go out and I ask businesses, hey, do you guys have any youth employment opportunities? How can we get our kids connected? Because those little connections, they actually relieve a lot of stress. Our kids are not out here committing crimes. They're not out here on the corners, and it's giving them a chance to earn an honest living, regardless of whatever mistakes they have made.
That's key. I work in the school system. I've worked at a Dunbar School, Harding, currently at Julius Clayton Magnet Academy. And these are some of the areas, and we don't know why, as far as, what happens in these areas, how these kids are acting, what are they doing, how are they behaving? And I see what they go through. I was fortunate to have, two great parents that are still married together my whole life. That is a factor that can produce positive aspects of a child growing up. Consequently, has nothing to do, because I've seen some of these kids. I mean, we had a girl that was at Dunbar that could go to any school in America. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to publicize that, but these are facts. These are what I've seen. Smart children, even with the curriculums, the dumbed down curriculums that are distributed in our communities. You know what I'm saying? So it's the resources that you have, the resources that Mr. Payne has, and even Evie being educated in her school system and the capacity of what she does. This platform that she has us on is great, because people can listen and find out things that might be a help to our children and help them maximize their own individual potential.
And I think that's a strong piece that I see in the school system, and that, you know, my position this year for diversity coach is more to reach the children, you know, in the I teach at West Haven High. So I see exactly what you see, Thyhason, right? Where there are tons of kids, and it doesn't matter what the family dynamic necessarily is, because it's good and bad. There's just that missing piece of getting a job and those skills. A lot of what school teaches is kind of how to study, or, you know, even the whole go to college. Our curriculum is designed to pass the test, not necessarily to gain knowledge or even to learn how to gain knowledge. You know, I find when the kids come into my classroom, I do a lot of research based, and they're like, Miss, you can't just give us. No, you know, but that's what we're missing in education. And then it hurts because they go out in the world, they don't really know how to fill out the application or to ask to fill out the application, because that's a strong piece. Like, well, where do I get the application from? Well, you have to learn how to communicate with others. So I think that's what's missing in our communities.
Definitely that gap of what to do, how to do it, who to ask, and because of a lot of factors, they just don't. They end up falling by the wayside, or not getting that push to that next level because of that. You know, like I said, I've seen, I mean, dynamite kids. I mean, athletically gifted, academically gifted. I mean, just smart for no reason. That's just their gift. They're smart. I mean, kids that don't go to class, they're walking around, and then all of a sudden, like, man, come here. You know, what's your grade? You look at their grades, and they're like, he's not even challenged. So when you find a kid like that needs that, okay, now we need to educate him on his level or maximize his abilities. Who's seeing that? Who's identifying that? Who's putting forth the means and the resources to meet him where he's at? So when it's time to go to high school, and what happens? What happens? They're bored. They end up falling by the wayside. They're not intrigued, and we know what happens after that. They just fall into the it crowd, and what's going on, what's not. You do the bare minimum. You sell yourself short, and you're not even remotely inspired to feel like, well, if this is what this is, I mean, and then that this is exactly what happens. I see it all the time, and it's sad, very sad. I don't want to say that I'm desensitized to it. Sometimes I feel like I am. Doesn't stop me from, you know, trying to bridge that gap like we all do. So.
And I think it's really important for mentorship. I know when Wes started talking about his program, because it's baseball, I don't know anything about baseball. Neither one of my kids are interested. And I tried to bribe them, actually, because I know West program is going to be awesome. Right. So I tried to bribe my son, like, you sure you don't want to play? He was like, we tried that, Mom. And I'm like, this might be different. But the key point is having mentorship. So I am going to force them to volunteer, at least, because they need to be seen. They need to be around more strong Black men doing mentorship, running these programs in the community, because I think that plays a heavy part as well. I think we miss that piece of just seeing people, even if you're not doing, just seeing those strong Black men doing these things.
I mean, that's my goal and vision exactly. So I think I'm using baseball as a vehicle, but the broader vision is mental health, trauma related. I have all the necessary networking to attack the four square criteria that we have here, from the schooling to the education to the guidance to the leadership. And before I get into my stuff, I'll let Thyhason go. But to piggyback on what you said, I mean, I think that's all the goal. I mean, Lisa's right on it. Thyson's right on it. I mean, they fall by the wayside so quick. And I was almost one of the ones, I wasn't even thinking about the Navy. And it was just hit me one day. I was by the recruiting office and I went in, and 13 years later, I come back to Bridgeport. So it's I can understand from the whole standpoint. So, but I'll let Thyhason go and knock out his criteria of the question.
Okay, well, not being too long with it, you know, I could talk. So, but like I said, born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Father grew up pretty much playing all the non-traditional sports, non-traditional Black sports, heavily populated sports. And we know that's due to segregation, and which was limited exposure in a lot of sports, at least on the platform of it being like it should have been, fair access to, you know, everything that involved in that sport. So, I grew up playing tennis. I grew up playing golf. My uncle, Charles Adams, he grew up playing tennis. He was a teacher at Central High School. Got arrested, so he passed away. So, like Evie said before, I became a part of a program, a nonprofit organization called the Newfield Tennis Association, and it was an all-Black organization. And they taught us how to play tennis. And my father had introduced me to the game. And between that, there wasn't a platform for me to actually learn, and the capacity of structured learning, like learn how like other kids from other towns and other cultures learn, like true steward of the game, how to play the game correctly, how to play it right, the rules and regulations. Like we were just blessed with that, blessed with that opportunity. And it was just like I met Evie, I met our family members there. We were learning together. We're learning together the right way. We're traveling to tournaments all over the United States. We play. Some of us all played high school. A lot of us played at the collegiate level, things like that. So around 16 years old, I had a vision that I said, because at this time I had played in tournaments 23, 24, 25 years, 26. Life happened for me, so I kind of got away from tennis in a way, but the passion in my heart for the game never left. But at 16, I remember being on my friend's doorstep, and he's like, I said, yo, I want to do this, man. I saw myself doing what I do now. I mean, that sounds, good, like a good story, but it's exactly what happened. I was talking to one of my staff the other day, and I said, she's aspiring to start her business. And we were talking, I said, I saw what I was doing. So not to go too far to the left, everybody's doing what they're doing. Continue to do it. Don't let anybody stop you. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like about 8 years ago, I established the North End Tennis Association from ground up. The Black Wall Street movement was a catalyst that helped, kind of push forward. Because around that time, you had Black entrepreneurs, you just not as much as you had now. I attribute a lot of everybody around me who I seen be a Black entrepreneur and do what they do and set everything from the ground up and educate yourself and believe in yourself, and because it's not set up for us too. So with that being said, my product pretty much consists of, group private lessons, free lessons monthly to expose the game of tennis on the beginner, intermediate, advanced level, maximizing each person's individual potential, wherever you're at. If you're trying to get ready for tournaments regionally, there's training for that, trying to get ready for high school play, ready for that, college, ready for that. So big resume of a lot of people, coaches, people that have played on a lot of different levels. So and then I think I'm going back to what Wesley said. That is just that's again, I'll use his word, the vehicle that we're using. It is that. A lot of it is the tennis, but for me, I'm an advocate for just like life. Like, how do we help these kids become the best that they can be? And I think, Evie, you said it as well. It's that middle stuff. It's that stuff they go home and suffer from that can be the things that keep them. Look how good you are at basketball. Look how good you are at anything. If you can't make sense of who you are, where you're trying to go, and how to get there, it's going to be hard for you. It's good, you know what I mean? When life happens, how do you process the information? How do you have the skill set to get through it? So even though you see North End Tennis Association, we're talking about suicide, mental health. We're talking about autism. We're talking about domestic violence. We're talking about breast cancer awareness. These are a lot of things in our community. Literacy, huge. These are the things that I advocate for, because these are a lot of the things, and everything else that goes within that is just the biggest thing. I think Evie said it again. It's like getting to that home. I think Lisa, you said it, getting into the home. We can touch the kids, but that programming is within the household. You could try to, I'll use Wes, you know how it is when you're programming something, You know, we got to be the drivers. We got to be the audio drivers for that computer. We got to be the, you know, in order for the parents to mesh in with the message that we're trying to help with. It takes a village. You know, I had great parents, great upbringing, but I can name about a good 15 people, Black men, you know, on the surface, they were, you know, family men, consistent, not in jail, not using drugs. They weren't perfect, just like my father wasn't, but they were there. They were doing it. They were doing everything they could positively for their community. A lot of them. I can name so many. So I was grateful. So I'm saying to myself, me being who I am, there's no way in the world for what I have, I'm not going to take my platform of tennis and the love I have for my people and children to go forward with trying to maximize my purpose. I believe it's the reason why I exist. I believe it's the reason why God created me, and I can't live this life without trying to manifest that. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. I had to make myself stop because I felt myself.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all parallel. I mean, we're all four of us on different walks, but the same avenue, which is, I mean, that's what makes the world go round. So to dive in, my story's a little. I'm not gonna go long winded like Tyson over here, but but yeah, I started out playing baseball. I know baseball is probably one of my favorite sports to play and watch. It can get boring to a lot of people, but to me, I find it fascinating. The game of baseball. I started at 5 years old and played all the way through. Even when I joined the Navy, I still played baseball inside the Navy, softball as well. So I was always around the game somehow, some way. So fast forward, October 8th, 2020. I was at Poe's Kitchen grabbing some wings, and I had a little wait, and I said, you know what? I stepped outside and I said, these fields are too beautiful to let them keep going to waste, and this would be a beautiful starting place to get the neighborhood revitalized in the sense of um, not the norm shops and stuff like that. Let's get a sport going on, and why not me to bring baseball back to it to the East End? So I went home and I started diving into the research. I looked up the history of Newfield, and I became instantaneously intrigued from the history to the minor league, Negro League teams that was once there. And that's when I started formulating my plan to, you know what, I'm going to make this Newfield youth baseball Negro League themed to bring back the essence into not only the area, but to get people intrigued to, you know what, it's not just, baseball. I mean, not just football and basketball in the area. There's people that really know baseball. So, I got the plans in motion and I started moving forward with it. I started putting little bits and pieces out there, and people were intrigued by it. And here we are today. I mean, I had conversations with other league representatives. They say, "Oh, you may not get enough kids," and all the whole spiel. And today we're at 100+ kids, and I mean, I couldn't be more satisfied with the support. Um, we're ready. The board members, I have a team that's ready to go. Everybody from mental health advisors to from to the administration to those that's gonna teach financial literacy. So that's what I'm using the baseball. The kids are gonna learn the game, but they're gonna learn the life essentials as well. And of course, I'm gonna bring my my military background in for the structure of it all. But the kids and the parents, we're going to couple it all together so that everybody learns. It's not just the kids learning. The parents are going to learn how to cope with certain mechanisms that may be triggering them. The kids are going to cope with, the stresses of, distance learning for the, for this near future. I mean, the kids are gonna learn everything from the history of Newfield to the history of the Negro Leagues to the history of themselves. I mean, we're building something here that's gonna be bigger than baseball, and that's my ultimate goal. I want this to be bigger than baseball. And like Tyson was saying, the love of the game is there, but we have to start digging deeper into what we can do for the community. And I feel as though this was my legacy purpose right here. This was me sitting down and saying, Wes, it's time to do something to get to the next level of, getting your face out there. Yes, everybody knows me as a jokester around. Everybody knows me as the funny guy, but nobody knows the backside of Wes or what goes into what makes Wes tick. So this is something that's making me tick with two hands and not just one, to use metaphor. And so, we're here today, and the parents are excited. I'm loving the excitement around the city. It's getting past the city, which is great, and I'm getting in front of, I'm sitting in front of people that I probably wouldn't been sitting. I probably would have, but now it's at a different level of conversation of, how can we help you, Wes, and not me helping someone else at this point. So, I'm all ready for it. The ages are from 3 to 12, as I said. I wanted to start at 3. People are saying, oh, what? You're going to deal with these 3-year-olds, but that's perfect. That's perfect to get them out there running around. Am I looking at them to be all-stars at this point? No, of course not. I mean, they're 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds. They're going to be probably looking at the sky. But it's what it trickles down to the parents that's seeing that their child out there at 3 years old and a uniform is going to do psychologically, and that's what we're looking at, and that's what I'm going to continue to build on, and we'll work the league to be what it is. So the website is newfieldllbaseball.com. If you guys want to inquire more, you can always reach out to me on Facebook, Wes Payne, or you can email me at newfieldllb@gmail.com. We can have a conversation. I can sit down, whatever. The pricing is uniforms included. I have ample amounts of cleats, hats, anything that your child may need or the parent may need. If you're struggling to pay for the pay, just always reach out to me. We're going to work with you. I understand the other leagues have been around for years, but I mean, this is our inaugural season. It's going to have bumps, it's going to have the bruises, it's going to have growing pains, but that's the glory of it all, to watch it all manifest to become this glorified league. And I mean, that's my vision, that's my goal. My goal is to hit every corner. I've been going door to door on the East End for the last 4 or 5 months, saying, "Hey, this is what we bring into your neighborhood, and this is, you don't have to worry about money." Everybody always looks at money, but my goal is not to have parents' first object is to look about money. No, let's focus on getting your kid out there and getting them exposed to a game that probably will never be exposed to, especially baseball. Baseball is tough, especially on the East End. There's no baseball around. There's hardly anything around. They're building up the East End, but it's not building up the way we want to see it build up. So I'm not coming to be the savior, but I'm coming to be 3/4 piece of the pie over there, and that's my ultimate vision and goal. Let's get a Black Wall Street on Newfield Ave there. Let's get the bands out there. Let's get it all going, just for the love of our people, and that's my goal. So that's where we're at right now to this day.
I think that you and Tyson both are doing something that's unique for our community, and it's necessary. I think that part of my mission has always been for me to help teens realize their potential. Like, that's what I did when I had my nonprofit, and that's definitely what I do in my classroom. My classroom is always ran very unique around the building. Teachers, I get on their nerves because I do too much. My whole mission has nothing to do with math. It is 100% about teaching you how to reach your potential, no matter what that is. And I think that exposing them to different things is how we do that. tennis and baseball, like you said, they're not so popular, so to speak, in our community like they need to be. And I think giving the kids exposure to lots of different choices, it helps them understand that, you can have different skills and still be successful and still be good, so to speak. I do that a lot with my hair. If you don't know me, my fro is real untamed and unkept. And as a little girl, I was just nappy headed. That's what I was. And especially because I'm light skinned, it was real unique. So, especially for my family, I was real nappy headed because I'm light skinned. They expected me to have this flowing hair. So, when I finally met this woman, I was 14. I walked in her salon to be a braider, and she just taught me how to love my hair. It was so different. But just that little piece that little girls don't understand. The first hair show I did at West Haven High, I had my hair straight like the week before. The day of the show, I had my fro back, and they were like, "Miss, you're gonna wear your fro to the show?" Some little girl right after wrote me and told me that she never felt so comfortable in her curls until she seen me. So I think that that's a key thing, exposing them and making them know that being who we are is okay outside of the image that is given to us. And that's the same thing with sports. Like, it's okay to like baseball. When my kids always, first question they ask, "You play basketball?" "Nah, he plays soccer." "Soccer?" Mm-hmm. It's okay to play soccer, just so we're clear. But I think that's important in our community to let them know it's okay. We're really stigma to what is been set for us, and we need to learn to teach the kids to step out of the box so that they can be okay with who they are and explore other things and get some structure and be around people and love themselves, because that's what it's about. And that's how they grow. That's how our community grows. We get out of that box that we've been put in.
Yeah, that's huge. It really is. And the reason why I agree with and with everything you guys are saying. Even for myself, it's just like, and they see someone that looks like them, and that's huge because like even me growing up, if I didn't see these black men playing tennis, like not just hitting the ball, but playing tennis, the rules, the score, everything, I wouldn't, I wouldn't have been as inspired to do it. Like even now, you look on TV and you see the Serena and Venuses, and you see the Coco Gauffs, and to be real with you, like for me, like you're gonna get those ones, the Naomi Osakas, those premier ones. You're gonna get the Tiger Woods. For me, it's the Malavia Washingtons, it's the Lori McNeils, Francoise Abandas, Gail Monfils. Like these are people, and there's so many that are relevant. You know what I'm saying? So those are the ones, and not that I'm discounting Serena Venus, Serena Coco Gauff. I love to see them flourish, but it speaks volumes to people that look like you, that are doing this, that are great, that are legends, that are the best ever. That inspires you. Not that you're going to reach their level, but it just adds something. It's just that confidence you get to know, like you said, even that little girl, that could have changed her life. Some women, some little girls just grow up like, they feel like because I'm really dark, or because my hair's kinky. They grow up like these problems are lifers for them. You know what I mean? So, and then again, look what happened to you. You know what I mean? You 14 years old. You remember. Now you're older than 14. I'm not gonna say how old you are. It's not my business. But at 14, you could, at your age you are now, you look back and said, "Wow." And we all have those. Wes, you have those. Lisa, in some way, you have. I mean, with what you do with Nubian, there's a moment where something clicked in you to say, "Man, I love this. This is my passion." So you know what? We're full speed ahead with this. We got the blinders on. We're not gonna let anybody stop us. So, I think it's our duty, all of us, in whatever capacity that we do, it's our duty to offer our services. And as part of one of the questions in this whole panel, that's how you help build your community. These are resources. These are resources of love. These are resources and like you know what I mean. They're just overall resources that are helping our community. You know what I mean? Whether, again, it's an athletic piece, there's a mental health piece. You know what I mean? With Lisa, there's a holistic piece. You know, with Evie, it's a a beauty piece. You know what I mean? And it goes beyond that, because I'm sure it's an identity piece. You know what I mean? So, it's so dope. Wes, I saw a little bit about what you do, stuff like that, but to hear your story as much as I have, man, I have a little background. I played 5 years of baseball growing up. I have a little background. I know the game somewhat. We'll talk after this, but I want to be a part of it, man. I have a buddy that, you probably might know him, but Tyrone Kingwood, great friend of mine. I'm sure you know his
Yeah.
background or whatever, but we're definitely going to talk, man, because it's not just about what I do. If I can help all of us in any capacity get to that next level, I'm trying to build my piece. It's not about getting rich. It's not about anything. What makes us truly rich, I believe we all want money in some capacity, but man, it just, when your heart is fed by what you can do from your heart and see fruit. We want to see fruit. Lisa, you want to see fruit from what you do? I'm not talking about money. You're talking about the love and the help. No, go ahead, sweetheart. Go ahead.
No, it's never about the money.
Absolutely.
It's never about the money. And when people learn to remove that from whatever they're doing and make it more about their mission, that's when the purpose is fulfilled. I use my business just like a key to start a car, like you guys. You guys are using it to drive. I'm using this to engage with the community. I want to know my community. You guys know that I do many things, and that every other week I probably have a new business. So now I'm locking it. I'm using it to engage with people, to bring people on board. I myself, I'm loving the fact that we have all of us here and we're at different levels. I'm just starting. So I'm going to be making a lot of mistakes with my double dutch. So I'm going to be learning through other people and watching and learning through my own journey. So I'm thankful for every opportunity. And I hope that, as we start to grow and as we start to do things in the community, all of us here, that we all can come together and work together. There's a big disconnect in our community here in Bridgeport, where people are not working together. Things turn into competition. It's not competition. We all have the same purpose. Let's work together and let's build. Let's do this. Let's connect, whether you're sports, a small business, a restaurant, and we all connect together, we can do major things. So
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And again, and it's the unity piece. It's definitely a piece. It's definitely unity, because you don't know how close you are to somebody who can help in a little capacity. You're just starting. I work in the school system. If you sit down and talk, you say, "Listen, I want to build this double." You're a phone call away from getting a lot of information to be able to help get you at least the kids involved. The administrative stuff and the groundwork and the foundation you put together. The next thing is just getting girls there, get them intrigued. You put the music aspect to it to keep them engaged. You know what I mean? So the resources are just, they're there. I'm definitely one for you. Like I said, whatever you need. I know how hard it is starting. It was hard. You feel like nobody's there to help you out. The people you think are going to be there aren't. But like you've already sounded like you're focused. Stay focused. Nobody should care more about what you're doing than you. So in your worst day, just get up the next day and continue moving and doing what you're trying to do. On your worst day, I don't care what happens. I'm telling you, you fall down.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Because I can tell you that I've set up for events. My staff. Shout out to my staff. You already know, like, we've set up. We done brought everything and the whole house down, and nobody showed up multiple times. And and another good thing is this: having great people around you. You know what I mean? That help you fall by the wayside. They don't help you fall by the wayside. You know what I mean? And I thank God for my staff, because I was hot. I was tight. I was like, wait a minute, are you serious? And they were like, listen, and they don't even have a business, but they were just sober enough, to be like, listen, you good. this is a stumbling block. You're gonna be all right. And I just thank God for the good people around you, good people that can really help steer within your vision. Because nobody gets there by themselves. So I thank God for the people I have behind me, my admin team, my coaches, the people who have donated water, money, corporations, and I'm blessed. I treat those relationships great. I don't burn any bridges. I mean, within a means of integrity. You know what I'm saying? If you're lined up right with what I'm doing, where I'm trying to go, without any funny stuff, I'm a lifer. You know what I mean? I believe in great relationships. You know what I mean? Being honest with people, letting them know where you stand as a man or as a woman. And I think with us, our community, I notice in other communities, what happens is this: you're gonna get the people talking junk, or you're gonna get the attitudes. But you know what? You know what I really realize about other communities? No matter how much attitude you have, who doesn't like whose job gets done? The job always gets done in those other communities. With our community, I don't like her. Next thing you know, she's never coming back again. And then she's spreading venom to someone else about why they're not going back there. Then that venom spreads. It's all about the children. What is the goal? What is the focus? And I think even myself at times, we have those thoughts. We're human. Like, oh, well, you know, I ain't dealing with them no more. And I just have to like quicken myself. Like, you know, what is this really all about? Is it really about my feelings about what they said or did and they're a different person? Or is it about these kids getting fed what they need to feed, or the mission getting accomplished, or the goal being met? You know what I mean? So I just try to, you know, stay, you know, just quicken my spirit, just to be like, let's see this for what it really is, and understand the goal behind everything, which is full speed ahead, and let's get the job done. You know what I mean? Consistently, every year, evolve, get better. Let's keep going. You know what I mean? You don't want it to fall by the wayside. You don't want it to be well, I was in business for 3 years, or we did that for a little while, and I just, in my mind, in my heart, I didn't want to be that person. So, you know, I'm just trying to stay diligent in how I apply myself with what I do.
I think Wes touched on it where he said he went door to door. I remember that's how I started. I literally went from, I mean, I probably walked 10 miles that day, and I went to every single business. I was leaving flyers with people. I'm a neighborhood person anyway. I'll sit on my porch all day and say hi to everybody. Like, as you walk by, I know they look at me like, do I know her? No, you don't. I'm just saying hi. That's just who I am. So that is definitely something that I have no problem doing. And I do think the more people that you reach, the more people that are going to reach back. And so that's important, to make sure that you keep reaching people, because every 10 businesses that say no, right, one says yes. And even if they're not donating, they might just, hey, can I put my information here? Because you really want to make sure that we're reaching the community, and then we're reaching each other. I think everybody has said it, you know, what do you need? I'm here for you if you need something. That's important, that we connect together and we build each other, and we stop being in competition, because the more we do together, the more gets done, right? The more that we reach up other organizations or other entrepreneurs, the more our community becomes big, right? Because that's how our community, we expand and we expand and we expand. So that's really important for us to go out to the community, physically going out, not just sending emails, you know, not just collecting money or registrations, not just me building clientele, but me actually reaching out for my mission. What do you need? I will randomly stop. There's so many students that have never been in my classroom, but know me. I have students that still to this day, they have graduated years ago, and they'll text me to let me know what's happening in their life. And they were never in my classroom. It's because they know what I've done is I made it clear I care. I made it clear that you're still a part of my mission, even if you're not in my classroom, even if you're not in my organization, even if you never got your hair done. It's really important for us to make sure everyone around us in our community knows that we're here, we're present. I think that's a real key aspect of us making sure the community is served, so that we're here.
Definitely. I did a little bit of that myself earlier on last year, where I was going around sticking my business card just about everywhere. Really, before the pandemic had hit, I was going into the library, and I had ordered about 5,000 cards. I took a handful of them and I started combing the library section and started sticking my cards in the books, not knowing when that book would be rented, but it did bring in quite a few people just from that. Hey, I found your business card in a book. And then when I would go into stores, bathrooms, I was like throwing my business cards everywhere. So it is important for the community to know, you know, who you are. Even let the other people around you know who you are. You can go out of state with it. You have to let people, you have to work with other people too and let people know that you exist. Oh, sorry. I think I'm sorry. I was having a malfunction with my phone. It was flinching. So moving forward, yeah, I think I'm done. But thank you.
Good old technology. Wes, can you
Yeah.
fix our problem?
I'll fix it for sure.
Thank you.
So yeah, so you know, we're coming down to the end of the hour. I guess I want to wrap up with everyone kind of saying a message to someone else that wants to get involved, that wants to do, whether they're a teen or an adult, to be involved. And I'll start it off. For me, I definitely have a mission to help with learning who you are and loving who you are. I think that what I've seen in the mission that I've done, lots of little girls. Right now, I probably have 5 little girls that Black little girls who are adopted by white parents. And what I have learned from them is losing your identity as a young person, because that's what happens, right? You lose it because you don't even know how to identify with who you are. And then you have to rebuild it. So I think that that's really important that children understand that they're still creating their identity. Then once you become an adult, we think we know who we are, and that is so untrue, right? So I think being open to that evolution of changing who you are, changing your core as well, because that's where the real work starts. That's where the mental health dives in. There were so many issues, me as an adult, that I had to personally deal with my family trauma that I didn't realize was there until it came out in my adult life. So I started to see some of those actions with my children, and I had to change. I had to physically change my DNA by changing my actions, seeking some mental health. You know, like I went and I need a counselor. This is what I need, because clearly I can't do this work by myself. You know, so loving yourself comes with the whole part of yourself, not just your hair, which I love to do, but just the whole who you are. Your beauty comes from making sure that your core is healthy. So that's for me, and I am all for it, helping anyone, you know, who has that.
Well, I guess as for me, if you want to get it, you can always reach out to me if you want to get involved. I'm for the teens and for the kids. If your child want to come out there and volunteer at the concessions, they're more than welcome to come out. Volunteer coaching, volunteer, you know, whatever. I want the community to all come out and be involved in this. I think it's going to be a pretty great time. It's going to be well. What I'm saying, well, the restrictions. I know everybody's. I don't want to say afraid of the COVID, but aware of the COVID. But it'll be sanctioned. So don't think it's just some wild bill, wild free fall out there. But we'll have a lot of things in place for everyone to get involved. Even if your kid has a little lemonade stand, I'll ensure that the proper permits and everything else is in place for them to come out there and, you know, show their stands or whatever you want to do. You have an idea or extra vision that you want to share with me. I'm all open. I'm open to
Wes, when does your
criticism as
season
well.
start? When does your
The
season
season
start?
starts, so we have our first practices, knock on wood, on March 13th. So the practices start March 13th. Opening day is going to be, knock on wood again, barring the weather, May 1st. I have some things lined up for opening day. You know, it's probably going to start around 9 a.m. with the game starting at 10:30 ish. You know, I know people like to be on CP time, so you know we'll play it by ear. But um, organizational wise, 9 a.m. for opening day ceremonies to start, and I put out there. I'm probably gonna have people sing the Negro national, the Black national anthem at the games. A lot of people reached out already, wanting to sing. You know, I gotta hear you first. I don't need anybody sounding like me in the shower. But yeah, I'm gonna have that going on. So you know, if you sing, reach out. You know, we got a lot going on. I'm excited. I can't wait for it all to happen, and you know, it's gonna be what it is.
That's what's up. I think we skipped myself because I was so zoned out and intrigued by Evie. So we're gonna have a season if you guys are interested. I did put up a post. I'm looking to bring on some youth employment. For those of you who have the email, you guys can email me. You can come to my personal page, Lisa P. Hinton on Facebook, or you can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, IG, everything, Nubian LLC. If you are interested in youth employment and or volunteering sometime with any of the youth programs we have, working down at the shops, I'm working on another location. You can just reach out to me. We have a lot of stuff in place. We are looking for the community. Feel free to check out my website. Thank you. And I really appreciate that. Sorry to be so short and sweet. Like I said, I'm in the beginning stages. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. So I'm willing to learn and grow from this.
Definitely.
And I could definitely say that this is the right team. We're all here for you. So reach out. And I'm just going to speak for them because I know them. So just reach out because I know that whatever guidance you need for the next step, we're here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
that. My season, I'm trying to hear back from the state regarding CDC and sports. I got some guidelines that might change as of March 13th, so I'm not too sure. I'm looking more towards April. Me and my team are finalizing the dates because my dates pretty much run anywhere from like April and May, depending on how this COVID season goes. Last year, we started in July because of COVID. This year, of course, with the vaccine being distributed and all the other stuff, we might, test the waters and start in April or maybe even May. But at North End Tennis Association on Instagram, Facebook, or you can follow me under my name. First name and last name, Thyhason, Adams. My services include, like I said, group private lessons. There's no limitations. Get kids out there as far as early as 3 years old. A good amount of my clientele. Last year, I had a 50-year-old gentleman out there. I had elderly people out there. I had kids out there. So, I had, and even as far as, I know some people worry about, what if my kid has a disability? Doesn't matter. I had 2 autistic children out there last year. So if your kids have a learning disability or disability anyway, we'll speak, we'll work through that. We'll talk and see how we could accommodate meeting them where they're at so they can be exposed to the game too. I
also, not to cut you off, I wanted to piggyback on that as well. I have a few kids on the spectrum as well, and we're highly ready to receive them, and we have the proper treatment plan for it, and practice plans for them as well. So, not to cut you off and piggyback on that as well.
No, you good, brother. Usually what I do with that, without going too far into it, is just I find out the measure of the disability, and again we meet them where they're at with that. So anybody interested in body transformation when it comes to your weight, health, counseling, there's an element of North End Tennis Association off services for that. Mentoring, and tutoring as well. So any questions, open for it. Like I said before, email is NETA NETA, which is the acronym for North End Tennis Association, NETABPT@gmail.com. So questions, comments, on whatever it is in the capacity of what we do, we're open. Me and my admin team are ready as we approach this season. And I just wish nothing but success for everybody that's here. I'm motivated. I'm excited as well. We all should be. Wes, I'm behind you, man, because I think it's going to be awesome. Lisa, for some reason, not that Wes is it, I just feel like, it's a special place where you're at starting off. It's like, it's like throwing a baby in a pool, you know what I mean? And I think that's where you're going to get the strength going forward from what you do. I really do. And I think in a very short period of time, you're going to be very, very confident. Wes, I believe you are too. Like you said, you only have 100, you have 100 kids already. I believe that, there's going to be great things coming from what you do. Evie, you're well seasoned, so I already know what I'm dealing with you. There's nothing, sky's nothing but the limit. Sky's the limit with what you're doing as well. So, as a unit, I thank God for this time with you guys to sit here and break bread. All who's watching, in the capacity of not being on the panel, just keep doing what you're doing. It's the same thing, regardless of what we see around us, what the media portrays, the images that we're labeled with, don't define who we really are. Because our people are awesome, truly are.
Absolutely. We are truly awesome as a people. So I want to say thank you very, very much for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for everyone who's watching. This was awesome, as I knew it would be. And we're all going to connect, I'm sure, on another level. And if anybody out there wants to connect, please reach out to them because their programs are awesome now and they're just going to get better. So thank you for having me and have a good night.
Night.
All righty.